Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first online episode of Geek.0. This all started out as a podcast under a different name, and unfortunately, some situations happened where we weren't able to keep the name we were working under. We unfortunately didn't realize there was another more established podcast out there in the world that claimed ownership. Then we've tried to record under our new name, Geek.0, and SoundCloud and Podomatic were both being bitches and not letting us load. So we've decided that YouTube is a nice stable format to work with. So we're going to do video casting, I guess is what we'll call it, on the Geek.0 page. And I'm Chris.
I'm Shawn Michael.
And we will be your guides through the geek sphere.
I like that.
You like that, geek sphere?
Hey, before we jump in, just in all fairness, because I happen to be a big fan of both Podomatic and SoundCloud. In all fairness, it's not an issue of getting things uploaded. It's a matter of getting them available to properly share with everyone. We want this material. We want this material accessible to all of our fellow nerds and geeks. And being able to syndicate that process is important. And if we can't get it set up on the proper format that enables us to do that, then it creates a problem. So rather than fight with their systems and, what they've got running for podcasts and things like that, we just decided we'd take it into a better format and do it in video. Do it a little higher quality and make it more easily accessible through the massive community of YouTube. So
on that point, I guess Podomatic and SoundCloud weren't being bitches, so I apologize, Podomatic and SoundCloud.
It's all good.
My bad, mea culpa. I was just getting a little frustrated with
as was I.
All that talking. We've done so much talking, hours of talking, and just could not get it out there and disseminate it to everybody, and it was incredibly frustrating. I know on my end and your end. Yeah. So I'm glad that we're moving into a more stable format.
As am I.
And I think it'll be hopefully a nice growth opportunity for us as a brand. We're looking to make Geek.0 more than just a podcast. The YouTube channel, you'll see, those of you that subscribe, we're going to share movie trailers with you. We'll be popping in every once in a while if something blows our socks off, like a episode of The Walking Dead or something, for a quick little 5 or 10 minute holy crap session about what we just saw, among other things like that. So, we also own the domain rights to our name. So at some point we plan on developing a website to share some geek information and blog posts and stuff like that along those lines with you guys. So pretty excited about the new direction for Geek.0. And we're ready to kick off, I guess we'll call it episode 1 of season 1. You like that?
Yes, sir.
All right, episode 1, season 1. And kind of the thing that seems to be rolling heavy right now. I mean, we just keep seeing leak after. Well, I guess I don't know if you call them leak. I guess you call them preview after preview.
Yeah. They're pretty intentional.
Of the Galaxy S6.
Yes.
And it's according, like T-Mobile says, it's got a lot of 6 appeal. That's a fun little, I guess, nice little play on words that they've got going with. So what are you seeing? I mean, I know obviously this is the first flagship to come and take on the iPhone 6/6 Plus. So what are you seeing? What are you thinking? Are you pumped? I know you're an S5 guy.
I am stoked. And let me preface this by saying I am a Galaxy fan. I am not a TouchWiz fan. So though I do love the hardware, I absolutely have hated Samsung software. But I love the hardware enough in the last couple generations that I've dealt with the software. That said, I'm really looking forward to the S6 because Samsung, if they stick to what they've said, to the news media and everyone else, This will be the first phone that they've minimized the extent of impact of the TouchWiz interface. They've cut down on its intruding on the Google experience. They're finally going with premium materials for that premium pricing that they're charging. So unlike releasing a $600 phone that's 100% plastic, they're going to start using premium metal materials. I don't know how much of it yet is going to be metal, but I got my hopes up that Samsung is going to stick to all the things that they've been teasing us with. I'm looking for a lot of metal, a lot of glass, a lot of rounded edges, maybe some rounded edge screens. Yes.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Downplayed TouchWiz, obviously in a ton more power, and obviously a much better camera. So I'm very excited. It's obvious from some of the screenshots that we've been looking at that we're looking at a curved screen in at least one model, and I'm not so sure that there might not end up being two Galaxy XS versions. So I'm kind
of excited. One with the curved screen and one without. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So what do you think? There'll be probably $150 to $200 premium to have that extra little half inch of screen real estate?
I don't know. I think I would honestly say that I can see them doing it in $100 difference. They didn't charge the Note Edge wasn't a massive premium, shockingly.
Okay.
So I can see them doing it. I'm just hopeful. I'm really excited. Yeah. I've been let down before by companies, so I'm not going to hinge all my hopes on it. But like you said, this is literally the first smartphone to come to market from any company to answer the iPhone 6. I think all of us were pleasantly surprised by what the iPhone 6 brought to market.
For the most part, yeah.
It's yet another fine product from Apple, but this is the first Android device to kind of answer that entry into the smartphone arena, and I'm very excited at what they have an opportunity to do here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. I know I want my wife to get one. I'm stuck having an iPhone because of work. It's provided to me, which I know, cry me a river, you get a free iPhone, but still.
Right.
Yes, it's a free phone, but it is still an iPhone. And I'd much rather have Android.
Absolutely.
So I know you're also seeing something else. I know you're big into virtual reality. I know that's something that we had talked about in previous episodes and previous itinerations of the podcast, which is now the video cast. Who's entering the marketplace today? Who is claiming that they're going to be entering the marketplace? Can't talk now with a virtual headset.
Well, here's the deal. Valve, despite all the things that they've said for the last 3 years about, oh no, we're not working on anything VR, Valve is apparently entering into the marketplace with a virtual reality headset to tie in with the Steam box. I'm excited about this. I love VR. Mm-hmm. Anybody who knows me, anybody who's listened to us before, knows I absolutely love VR. Not necessarily for what it is currently, but for what it represents for technology as a whole. And I'm not the only one. I posted an article on Geek.0 just the other day where the CEO of Epic Games made a very public statement that they are personally working with a number of companies who are working in VR. And he said that the absolute most impactful stuff that we're going to see from VR hasn't even seen the light of day to the public yet. And we've seen some pretty impressive stuff in VR.
Very much.
From Oculus, from Samsung, from Sony. So here we've got Sony with the PlayStation entering into the VR market. Oculus has been killing it for the last 5 years. And they're about ready to release the consumer version product of the Oculus Rift. Obviously, Samsung's getting into play here with the Gear VR headset for the Note 4. And now Valve is looking to bring VR to gaming and computing user interfaces with the Steam boxes. So I think it's very cool. And I think when you see this many heavyweights in a market, if that makes sense, all jumping on board with a particular technology, it's a very, very good sign when you get all the heavyweights together. And
absolutely, because it's gonna push everybody to do it better. There's one guy doing it; you just have to trust them to actually do it well. Right. Now, when there's 10 guys doing it, they're going to be pushing each other to do it well.
Exactly.
So I think it's going to be awesome that we have another player in the market. I will say though, I think you know the obviously these things are going to take a graphics card to run. And it looks like the one that nobody's probably going to buy now is the NVIDIA 970,
Oh
since
man.
since they got slapped with a false advertising lawsuit over the GTX. NVIDIA got slapped with the GTX 970 lawsuit, and it's unfortunate because it was a decent card. Actually, it's a pretty good card, especially for the
It's
price point.
it's an exceptional card. Let's not mince words. It's just
Yeah,
not everything that they necessarily hyped it to be.
yeah, they said it was going to be a 4 gig card of DDR5 virtual RAM, and it does have 4 gigs of virtual RAM. The problem is that the very last 500 meg chunk is just slower, and since it's slower, people are getting pretty ticked off about that, and hence the massive lawsuit. And not only that, Amazon and Newegg are offering partial refunds on the thing.
Yeah.
So if you bought one, they're wow. It looks like in some cases they're offering up to a 30% refund on the card.
This is a big deal because, and this isn't just a minor flub. It
No,
doesn't that 500 megs of overhead on the RAM doesn't just run slower. It actually runs 80% slower than the rest of the RAM in the card. So it's
yeah, it's a
literally
lot
running
slower.
at like DDR, GDDR3 speeds.
Hmm.
So it's a huge difference, and it's obviously significantly impacting the performance of the card. And Nvidia, all I can say is shame on them because they've been in this business. They created the market of extremely persnickety high end PC gamers, and of anybody to know that which group you don't screw with, it's PC gamers.
Yeah,
These people pick fights in stores debating over whose system is the best and PC gaming versus console gaming. These,
not that there's
regardless,
anything wrong with picking those fights. So please,
not at all, not
PC
at all,
gamers,
but they're
don't come after
very
us.
passionate.
We know that you're the master race.
They're
Okay,
very
please
passionate.
don't attack us.
And when you get
Um,
a group of people like this that spend the kind of money that they do on a product,
yes,
and then you
absolutely.
misrepresent a product that they just dropped serious ducats on, you
Hmm.
got to expect there's going to be a backlash and they're going to throw a class action at you. And here we
It
are.
was well deserved. I mean, you can't advertise something at that speed and then have the last bit of it not be capable of handling it. I mean, that's just you just shake your head at it. I don't understand what they were thinking. Especially Nvidia. I mean, it's not like it was some new kid to the block. It was Nvidia. So Nvidia's getting sued. So the 970 won't be running the VR headsets. Um, but so I guess let's transition in this horrible transition that I'm doing right now. You would have thought I would have had something better, and I'll be like Archer. I had something for that. But so there's a phenomenon sweeping the freaking
This is retarded.
women
I
of the
know.
nation, I guess,
Yes.
because I know I haven't seen it. I know you haven't seen it, have you?
No. And here's the
No, and you're not
deal.
gonna, right?
No, because I don't want to feed
Good
into the
boy.
hysteria. So $98 million, I think, is what this stupid thing grossed the first weekend.
For softcore pornography, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, here's the worst part about it, and I'm gonna go off on a little tiny rant here, and I'm just
Good.
gonna.
Rant on.
So here's the deal. Excuse me, 81.7 million in ticket sales on the first weekend. So check this out.
Happy
Here,
Valentine's Day.
here is a movie based on a book. Okay, that is 120% utterly about demeaning, dominating, and devaluing women. And the
And even
core
people that
audience
even
for
people
this,
that participate in the BDSM culture, and obviously we're talking about 50 Shades of Grey here, people. We haven't
yes,
mentioned it yet,
yes,
so I figured you probably figured that
just
out.
figured that was yeah.
So even people in the BDSM community have said that this movie's a joke,
Yeah,
and that it
absolutely.
all it does is objectify the woman in the movie.
Yeah, it does. It totally.
So
And if anyone, and 90% of the women who are going to see this movie have actually read the books, and it's not just women. There's men too. I read the books. But the thing here is, I know, shake your head. This was a long time ago, before it turned into what it is now.
back when you were into Twilight fan fiction, because that's what
Wow,
it is.
I will get you back for that one. But even then, I was like, man, it is blatant objectification and devaluing of her. Not only, I mean, he breaks her down, absolutely, and so I can't believe that the core group that is making money for this movie is the same one that I've watched over the last 2 years. Tons of media about women in different communities standing up to fight this crap. And then the
Hmm.
same women who are at a rally one weekend, you know what I mean, fighting for
Are at
women's
their
rights,
multiplex the
are
next.
at the multiplex the next weekend so they can get them some 50 Shades of Grey. And
And
what
there was
makes
one
it
lady in
sad,
Mexico that really liked
she
this movie.
really liked it so bad that she got caught masturbating in the theater and arrested. So, and what makes this great is that's one way to end up in cuffs, I guess.
I
I'm just saying. That is,
guarantee you that federale didn't look like Christian Grey, though.
I almost spit tea. I almost spit tea. Um,
Oh,
oh yeah,
um,
yeah.
so we didn't go see that movie this
We
weekend,
we will not be
obviously.
seeing it.
My wife and I shan't be seeing the movie, and I know you and your fiance won't be seeing it. And neither of us have actually even read the books. Danielle's, for as avid of a reader as my wife is, she's not even read the books. As shocking as that is. But the one movie that all four of us did go see, not together, but we did go see it,
Yes.
was Kingsman.
I took my bride to be for Valentine's Day, and we had a blast.
And I took my bride of soon to be 5 years to go see it.
Hoorah.
And it was spectacular.
The
So
poo.
much fun. So
The
much fun.
the poo. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So just right off, favorite scene.
Oh gosh,
No, don't think about it. Favorite scene.
it had to have been all the heads exploding. Oh, spoilers! I'm just going to throw this out there. Spoilers. We're probably going to have spoilers here because we really liked this movie. And it's going to be really hard for me to edit the video
And
down
and
and not have any
here's the
spoilers
deal:
in it.
if you
So
listen
all the
to
heads
us talk,
exploding was
if
my
you
favorite
watch
scene.
us, there will be spoilers. That's all there is to it. The heads exploding was great. Melissa absolutely loved it. For me, hands down, the church. Absolutely one of my favorite action scenes
One of the best shot scenes
ever.
in a
And I
long time.
love Tarantino. I love John Woo. I love people who can turn violence into a work of art. And that scene blew my mind.
Absolutely, it was spectacular.
Yes.
I also really liked the very end scene in the pub. It
Oh,
was nice to see
yes,
those guys get the crap kicked
absolutely.
out of them.
Yes.
Um,
Manners
it
make the
was this
man.
manners make man, baby. And I'll tell you, this movie made me want to have a job where I wore a suit every day to work
Screw
because
that. This movie
it
makes you
just
just
looked
want to wear a
that
suit,
good.
period.
Oh, I know. I freaking wore a blazer today. Oh, not a blazer, I guess a sport coat. I wore one today for the first time in forever.
So, what we're
Forever. I
saying,
wore one.
guys,
So
folks,
is
what we are telling you is if you have not seen Kingsman, okay,
and
don't
you're of age.
don't walk, run to
Run.
your nearest theater and see this movie. It
Yeah.
is absolutely phenomenal. It is violent, it is funny, it is heartwarming, and crass all in one. They do such a great job of
It
not making it excessively gory, but yet making it violent and impactful. Well, no,
let's just
think
say
about
this.
it.
It earned its R.
It definitely earns its R.
Okay?
But
It
here's the
earns its
deal.
R. And
Melissa
the
is
reason
not a big violence fan, and we thought back on it. We could only think of a couple times in the movie where we actually saw blood. There is a ton of people die in this movie. The
yeah.
church scene is about the only one I can think of.
Right.
And
There's a few spots in it, but yeah,
they do a great job of hamming it down. They use a lot of colorful effects, and I'm not going to give them things
yeah,
away, but they do a great job. It's awesome. It's everything awesome. It's like an entire carnival in one movie, a carnival of violence and nuclear explosions and paint and just awesomeness. It's just
nuclear explosions of paint. I love it.
it's
All
awesome.
right. So that being said, we just hit the 20-minute mark, and we were saying we were going to keep these between 15 and 20 minutes. So this one's going to be about 21 minutes. But it's time for us to sign off. We'll see you again later this week, hopefully. For Geek, or you can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/geek point. You have to spell it out, O, and twitter.com/geek, spell out point, O. And check out some of the articles we post and things along those lines. You can hit us up with the hashtag What's Your Geek. Let us know what you geek out about.
Yep.
Sean has one more thing.
Oh, and we will be getting the website up soon. And please don't
Yes.
forget to check out our YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Check out our YouTube channel, which you obviously are, because here we are. So, for that being said, I'm Chris.
And I'm Shawn Michael.
Have a great time.
Goodbye.